Welcome to episode 19 of A Standard Moon Start. Between episode 18 and 19, there was a update to Stationeers. Oh, we found a loose battery. The Steam Achievement update came out, and one of the effects is it changed the behavior of the Larry robot arms. And here I am turning them all off so I can make a code change. So I'm going to add some temporary code that seems to work around the issue. The problem is that there is a idle variable associated with the robot, and by default the idle is 1, representing its idle. When the robot's moving, it goes to 0. Before the achievement update, when the arm was moving, like you're doing an activate and you're trying to pick something up or drop something off, during that arm movement up and down, the idle flag would go from 1 to 0, and so the code would use that to determine when the actual drop or pickup function has completed. What I'm doing, looking through here, make sure everything is planted, and so it would wait for the arm to do the yacht picker or plant operation complete, and then continue. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. So basically, when you activate the arm, idle stays 1, the logic thinks it's done, it starts moving forward in the logic, and it causes problems. So what I'm doing here is I'm turning everything off, and I'm replanting in these spots that are missing, and I'm going to reprogram all the chips. The changes, the workaround is pretty simple. After you do the robot activation, just add like a sleep 2 after that, and that works around the problem. It gives it time for the arm to do the pick or put operation, and then continue on. Trying to pull out some of the junk I got in my inventory here, on my stack of batteries. And the reason why I'm stacking up batteries now, because I've been making, besides the 2 nuclear batteries, which unfortunately I made before the achievement for nuclear batteries came out. I'll have to make another one someday. As I'm switching more and more over to wireless batteries. So I'm going ahead and chomp chomp. Do some drinking here. And you'll see the code change. Now, there is a discussion both on the Steam forums and the Discord server. So under Discord, there's a section called for bugs, and there's discussion there for it. And here I'm putting. If you search on like Larry, you'll see the hit in the bug forum. So I'm not sure when they're going to fix it. Maybe they won't fix it. I don't know. They've been doing a lot of work for the new robot arms. They have a whole series of them, so I believe there's common logic between those two. And they did not enable the other robots yet. They're waiting for some future update. But since they've been mucking with the code, which I presume is common code between the current Larry and the new ones, that some change they made and reorganized the thing broke the current Larrys. All right, so it's a simple I only have one place in my code where I do the activate. Nice thing about using functions that do one thing, it makes it real easy to make these kind of changes. So now that I updated one chip, I'm just going to go through and zap the other one, just double checking things here. And once we zap all the chips, we just pop them back in. Now we got to wait. Oops. So I don't have a restart functionality built in. There's discussions about that when I put in my robot automation farming videos. The problem with having restart logic is you have to maintain all that state and reload it and save it and testing it. And I figure, well, once it's running, you're really not going to muck with it. Well, this should be like a fluke type thing. I assume they're not going to regress it every single update. So we had the some more junk come out. All right, so effectively our farms are offline right now, waiting to grow and synchronize. So because I don't have a restart function, effectively I have to basically wait for the first tray, which is the hydroponic device, to go to seed, and then after that point I can start them back up again and let them run. And we're gonna take care of some other things while that's going on. Print up some more solar panels and kind of finish or add some more out there, make them nice and even as far as the rows. Trying to put a bunch, trying to get 5 out of it, so put a bunch in there and trying to time it. And as you see, I kept getting tired of running out of cables, so I put a whole bunch of cables up, so that should, famous last words, keep me going for a while anyway. And at some point I'll pick them off the ground. The problem, I have them all stacked up there and I keep running into them. Not sure what to do with that second nuke. If I had a big, build out, I could use it for the arc welder. But I think we're kind of done with the really big stuff, at least for a while. Kind of remember what I was doing the last episode, kind of checking things out. Okay, so this is what I mentioned in the last episode, that I put this in the wrong place. I noticed that during editing of episode 18 that I mounted this a little in the wrong spot. So we're just going to fix that now. And I'm getting better at making sure I put the right version of the solar panel up. Now, what I didn't realize, and somebody mentioned it, when you bring up the labeler, you can use the mouse wheel to scroll to one of the last 10 names you used. So I'll take advantage of that. I was not aware of that. That was a great comment. And so when I put the other solar panels up, I'll be using that function. It definitely saves typing. So for example, if I have a set of like solar 270s, instead of typing it out every single time, I just do one, and after that I scroll to it and click, and I'm done. All right, so we're gonna do a little cleanup. I mentioned that last time. I put that transformer up there, and I really didn't need to do that since I have these APCs here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just clean this up a little bit while I'm here. Partly because I'm thinking about putting a battery charger in here, one of the big ones, and I want to have that off the heavy cable, because if you use light cables and you put too many batteries in it, you'll just blow the cable. So let's kind of snake this up here and deal with that outside. Base is now running off one large battery. That's not going to last very long. Trying to decide what I want to do here. Yeah, I changed my mind. I'll run it down this way. I don't really have a good, I guess, later game airlock design. So I'm still kind of thinking about different things there. It really wants to lock onto that transformer. All right, so we get that hooked up there. We can pull that transformer off. Okay, it's a little cleaner up there. And charging. We'll stack up the transformers over there. Get rid of that. I can always use this for. I really don't need. These small batteries are pretty much worthless now. Grab those solar panels. And did not forget the glass. Alright, so one of the things I have whined about over numerous episodes is that both the moon and more for the Vulcan series is I need to put the beacon up higher, because if you put it low enough, the base itself will block that little beacon light. And so one of the aspects of the beacons is no matter how far you are from it, you'll always see this kind of yellowish, orangish yellowish type light from it. And thus you really never have to use your tracker again, because you just look around, you'll see this thing and just go towards it. But that doesn't work if you have it low and you're on the other side of the base and your base is blocking it, and thus you can't see the light. So the solution is to put it up really high, and what we're doing here. And then now we'll always be able to find it. So for all practical purposes, I can just take the tracker card and toss it. What I probably should do is I probably should exchange the tracker card for a GPS card as a failsafe. Actually, I'll do that next episode. The reason for that, let's say I go off, forget to turn on the beacon, go way out there for some reason, and then I look around and can't see the beacon because I didn't turn it on. Tracker is no good because the beacon's not on. So, but if I have a GPS card, I can always find my way back. So I think we'll do that. So I think that'll be my future rule, that once I have a beacon set up and it's high enough, then to switch over to a GPS card as the emergency backup for that. I didn't want to snake a heavy cable all the way up that tower. That's kind of overkill. I tried to avoid putting heavy cables everywhere. Just my thing. And I try to use light cables or normal cables or whatever they're called. Cables, I guess. When it's appropriate. Like in this case, it's only one little thing on here I don't need. Make sure it works. Yep, okay. It's fine. And so what we'll do, we'll just keep throwing. This should be enough. I think this is enough. We'll see. And there's plenty of room out here now, so if I need to add another row or go out further or add fourth or fifth row, then it won't be a problem. Of course, I can't really squeeze through here, so I have to go around. I did a hop. My jetpack's off, and I did a hop, and that takes a while. I'm not sure why I don't. I can be aggressive with a jetpack because I got a smart tank on there, and filling it up is no big deal. Okay, so we're gonna type. There's a 90 from the other one. We'll type 270. And then this one, we'll just do the mouse wheel. Boom. Yeah, so that's definitely a big win. Yeah, I did the right click on the labeler and put it in the wrong place. Here I am doing the mouse wheel. Yep, definitely much faster. And then we'll cable these things up and they'll start tracking. All right, and they're doing the thing now. Just kind of looking around here and figure let's open these up. Go ahead and get the doors cycling. That way I can see those batteries. All right, so I need to make 3 of the power chutes for let's see, 1 export bin and 2 import bins. This will be another puzzle episode. I have 1 centrifuge and doing a second centrifuge, so we'll have 2 that we can run in parallel. I'm not sure how many I need. I'm gonna go with 2 and go with that. I don't end up with more. I'm not sure where I put the other ones if I need more, but we'll deal with that. So that's one of the questions. Is that given the I'm having a problem with once the farm's up and running full bore. All right. So here's something else I mentioned before. At some point I should just print up heavy filters. So I'm going to go ahead and since my suit needs more filters, I'm going to go ahead and print up some heavy filters for my suit. There should be an achievement for this. Apparently there's no achievement for a heavy filter. There should be. I'm sure they'll add that afterwards. My guess is they just did initial set of achievements just to get the ball rolling, get the basic logic in there, and then after that there'll be, some achievement 2 update. We'll add a whole bunch more. Aha! I'm printing another robot. And I'm afraid of having too many of them. So I print one and I stop it, and then or I hit the arrow button. So I only get one. When that finishes, I do it again. And the French fries are way down here. And pretty soon I gotta do some more soybean picking. And grab that, don't need that. I think there's an achievement, yeah, I think there's an achievement for setting up a station battery. Okay, another heavy filter, so that should last a while. And while we're just mucking around here, we'll swap out our nuke battery. So I have my backpack open. And we'll swap all these tanks too, just to do it. Just kind of seeing how it's doing. Alright, so I'm going to improve the lighting in here. I'm taking these lights out and I'm going to move them to the other side because I'm doing something here and they're in the way. Okay, I'm just going to put a bunch of lights up, and so we'll just speed this up a little bit. I use those really little lights because they seem to fit. Because I have those window slash floors in there, and they seem to fit in there just fine. Okay, got a transformer on it. Try to isolate the stuff more, and then we run this down here, and okay, we got better. A little bit easier. I'll be doing work around here, so that should make that a little easier to see. Grab some more cable here. I don't need all that heavy cable on me now. Funny, I grabbed just like one cable by accident. There's 6 there, 1 there. Yeah, that's empty. Turn that off. Yeah. Had a nice stack of 50. I just grabbed the wrong one. Oh well. We'll figure that out in a minute and go back up there and get some more. This is the other discussion I talked about, that when I have a room that's 5 wide, to put the main cable going down the room 2 off the wall. Okay, so I'm going to move that centrifuge. It was actually done anyway, so we'll go ahead and just empty that out, and I guess I could just disassemble it, but we'll do it the right way. Alright, so we're going to just rerun this new cable. We're going to pull out some old cables. It's blinking because I have a wire connection around the transformer, so it detected that, gave me an error state. So once I broke that connection, it fixed it. So we're just getting rid of all this cable over here, cleaning all this up. And okay. We got some biomass. Now we're going to yank this out because I have another place to put it. Okay, so we got to do that. And then, nope. Hand drill. Do that. More steel. What's next? Okay. Alright, quiz time. Why am I putting this export bin here? Now, it will be answered by the end of this episode, so. And I have export there and I input there. Try to find the other centrifuges. Oh, no. Is it me or the centrifuge looks like an atmospheric kit? All right, so we're kind of boxed in for 2 centrifuges. That's, if I need more than 2, I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I could move the wall out a little bit. That would work, I think. Yeah, maybe. We'll deal with that. We'll just see how it goes. Okay, so now it should be obvious why I'm doing this, I think. So each one has its own input bin. Now I get some cabling. So now I gotta connect up these centrifuges and the bins. And we're just making sure we got power, and we'll go ahead and just run these manually a little bit since we got them set up. Keep it clean and nice and neat here. Yeah, I still have that sensor floating. All right. So I got a comment way back when I set this up. They said, you know, you named this wrong. And I looked and I go, oh yeah, I did name it wrong. Now it doesn't hurt because the IC chip is using it's set up as the device, so the name doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to go ahead and I zap it back and forth just to make sure it's tracking the right one. But it seems happy, so hopefully the room doesn't spike. I noticed another problem given these hydroponic devices, long names. It makes the tooltips with long descriptions because of that name. So I think in the future I'll try to keep the names shorter, at least for the things I probably will hover over. I didn't think about that when I was naming them. Okay, big hint, big hint. You all should guess what I'm doing now. So this explains why I put those import and export bins there. Now your next question would be, why in the F are you doing that? Just rig up the chutes, put an overflow chute in there, it feeds into one, overflows into the other one. You don't need all this complexity, you know, like what's going on here? Well, that's true, but I'm doing it for fun. And so it also gives you a little bit of control that you don't really have when you use the chutes. So depending when you guess what I was going to do here, I was going to use a robot to move the the reagents from the output of the stacker to the appropriate centrifuge. So basically there'll be a chip, that'll be next episode, that will sort of monitor the state of the centrifuges and the bins, and it'll go, okay, so it'll attempt to load balance them by just moving it, you know, back and forth, so they always have an even amount. The logic shouldn't be that complicated. I think I get it all in one chip. I should have enough data ports to make all that work. And then, you know, kind of cool. Obviously, if I had even more centrifuges, then the robot could do more. And right now we're doing it manually. So basically, there was a video I did before this one about how to automate an electric centrifuge. The script turned out to be longer than I thought it was going to be. I will use that script. Actually, I'll be using it right now. So this is from that other video on the how to automate an electric centrifuge. No changes from that video. So I will not include that script in this video. You need to look at the other video for that. And so but overview what it does, this just controls centrifuges, electric centrifuges, and it has logic that it will turn them on and off. If it has nothing to process, it turns them off automatically. And then it's currently set up really for biomass, so when it hits 50, it does a dump. That's changeable in the there's a constant you can change if you don't like 50, you want a larger number. And then basically this can manage up to 6, so each data port is set to a centrifuge, and so it manages multiple centrifuges. It does not use broadcast or anything like that. It just uses the port, so it can port up to 6 centrifuges, and basically what it enumerates all ports that have something attached to them and interact with those. So that will manage those, and when you see if they're turned off, you know they're not doing anything. So it's kind of, and it saves a little power. They use like 100 watt when they're running. All right, so now I'm getting some of the chute system. And here I'm going to use the chutes. The output from the centrifuges will use chutes, so it all goes in one place. I can use my keyboard to get this thing set up right. So the output of the 2 centrifuges, the biomass, initially will go into a, it all kind of fits in here. So, have all these extra chutes here. Okay, so the output goes there. And then so the output of this will go to 2 arc furnaces. The first arc furnace gets you volatiles and pollutions and charcoal for output, and that run the charcoal through the next arc furnace keeps going up. Just checking everything, make sure nothing goes boom. So we got plenty of range. And that's empty. So we're not processing anything else. So I said once we have the charcoal, we run to the second arc furnace, which gives us carbon dioxide and pollutants, I think. So now we have both volatiles and carbon dioxide. So we need the volatiles to make water. We get the O2 from the plants. And we don't have the automation set up for this yet. On the thing to do list. And then we need the CO2 for the plants. Now we generate lots of CO2 from the furnaces, but it's not really automated per se. So I'll just collect the CO2 from the arc furnace. In theory, that will make it all automated. All right, so the other problem, which I mentioned, is this lighting in this area is bad. And one of the problems, I had the solar panels on top, so I couldn't rerun the wires down the way I wanted to run the wires down, and so I moved all that stuff off the roof. So now I'm going to go ahead and put some composite windows on the roof on the other side, so I can pull the inner old iron walls off. Once I have those off, then I have, now it's real easy to run the wire because I can see what I'm doing. I can run the wiring with those iron walls on the inside. It just makes placement a little more fun because you can't really see exactly what I'm doing. So I just figured I'd put the windows upstairs, which I want to do anyway. Put a little more light in here, and then I'll pull that out and start running those lights in here, and that will brighten up this room so it won't be so dark. And fortunately, it's daytime, so Yeah, see my logic. We're tracking, the temperature's tracking where it should be, and the pressure is tracking. The pressure's sitting at 75 because the code I have in the O2 extractions logic only pulls if it's below, above 75 kPa. It all seems to be working just fine. Okay, I kind of pause there to make sure my suit's on, everything's going there. So I also grab those deep miners so I can just get them out of my upper base and put them downstairs. And they all seem happy. Okay. And boom. All right. Let's go ahead and zap these on at super speeds. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I started to do these in pairs now instead of doing one, you know, at a time. Since they're right next to each other, I figured doing pairs is it's a little faster and still should prevent missing one. And here's our big cavern that we're set up for deep mining, and we'll put the water, some of the water processing down in here since we have the room down here. I just tossed those deep miners there for now just to get them out of the way. The battery in the middle, that big battery, the large stationary battery in the middle, that's for going down there to run the deep miner, so it'll be off its own battery. Now we have the tanks warm enough that we can actually smelt a lot of stuff just from that. I was just checking to see if I should open up the valve and move more gas downstairs, or should I leave it? I'm going to leave it because it's pretty hot. All right. With a delicate hand, pull these off. And it's a little more painful because half of them are iron and the other half are composite. So I have to switch back and forth here. Move those out of the way, and zap, 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 zap. I was checking the battery, what battery I have in the grinder. I need to switch that to a wireless battery. I only use a little bit now and then. That'll prevent me have to worry about the battery going dead and have to go track another one down. I'm going to take some of this excessive iron stuff and move it down into my locker area. I'll keep some iron sheets up here, but I have like 50 iron sheets up here, and the rest I'll just put downstairs. More glass I printed up. And put those downstairs, and let's put some lights in. We have those old lights I put in there a long time ago, never mounted. I'm going to mount these, I'm going to move them. I put them like right off the edge, and I decided, well, I'll center them later, so I'll just pull the old ones off. Then got that done, and here's my battery. Of course, it's not the drill that needs a battery, it's the other one, but we'll figure this out. Alright, so look at the drill. That already has a wireless battery. Yeah, it was the other one. Okay, so that's taken care of. It's still charging, but that will be fine. And take that small battery, we're going to charge it up, and then we'll toss it in the pile. And And then we'll move this iron stuff down here. I got a lot of room in here. Okay, I'm just checking out the farm, see how they're doing. And this is moving along. I'm just kind of seat of my pants design here. All right, we're gonna speed this up a little bit. Basically, I'm gonna run a set of lights down this side of the base. So we need to run a hiding the cabling so we don't block our view of the windows here, and put these right in the middle on this side. I'll run another row later on down the other side, and then that should provide enough light. All right, that should make, at least on this side, should make a little bit better on the video. Finally. And then we'll start on this side. And we'll just plug into here. This technically is the power for downstairs, which I'm tapping off from up here with these lights. Yeah. That one's not on because we need a cable. Alright. Nice and bright. I got a second row in there, man. It's going to really light up this space. Yeah, I keep thinking about putting sensors in here to, you know, control the lights on and off, but, you know, I don't spend that much time outside. So it's like, well, you know, they're not really me off that much. Now, one issue right now is that this floor and the floor below is treated as one room. And I thought about like sort of wrapping the staircase down below with some glass panels, and then where the exits are from the staircase, put in doors, but just leave them open, and that should divide this upper and lower space into separate rooms. And then I can put sensors in there and control the floor's lights independently of each other. So if I'm up here, the lights downstairs come off, and I'm up down there, the lights up here should come off, back and forth. I'm also a little concerned if I do that, it's going to restrict the gas flow between the two floors, since I sort of like, you know, leverage let the gas flow everywhere by having very small, you know, have like one little vent that inserts CO2 for the whole area. On the other hand, it'd be an interesting experiment to do that and see how much it really causes an issue. I can always run some pipes up, you know, with passive vents either side, just to increase the airflow if it became a problem. But so far, it really hasn't been a problem. I cool everything from way in the corner there, and it keeps everything within a couple degrees, which is fine. Alright, so I'm printing up some more housing, printing up some more IC chips. I'm going to need that for downstairs. So in general, the flow of work is I'm kind of focused on generating volatiles. I need volatiles, and while I'm doing that, I'm, you know, doing some cleanup work here. It's a little fit and finish. So we'll just keep the excess chips and housing next to the computer terminal over there. I should pull that out and switch it over to the classic design. I kind of like the classic design better. Okay, double check my suit on. All right, so we're going to do a little mining. And so we're going to try out our beacon. Turn this on. Turned out I don't go that far away, so when I go look for the beacon, I can see the base. So it's like, oh, okay, this wasn't a good demonstration in this episode, but I guess in the future probably will be. And on this run, we actually find a bit of cobalt. So I found a pile of cobalt here, and I find cobalt a little later. So generally, if you see cobalt, go for it. I guarantee it, when you look for it, you won't find it. Now you can see I wasn't that far from the base, so it wasn't really hard to find it. So I can see the base, but you can see the effect. It'll be up there, way up there, and if I was far enough away that you couldn't see the base, you still see the light. All right, so we're going to do some smelting here, and I think you've seen me do smelting a few times. We'll just speed this up. Now, in this case, I used the hot gas in the tank out there and just moved that over to the furnace and just used that, which is nice because it's daytime, so I don't have to worry about pulling ice out and have it melt in my hand while I'm trying to throw it in there. I mean, you lose a little bit, so it's really, once again, it's not a big deal, especially on the moon when there's so much oxide and volatiles are available. I did make one batch of steel just to get my steel achievement. I believe that comes off screen, so I see it on my computer that the achievement pops out, but it's not within the because it's a Steam achievement, so it's not within the game recording, so you didn't see that go off. Now, obviously, I've made a lot of steel in the past, but not since the achievement, so we knocked off that one. Now I'm just going to dump all the gas back into the tank there. And we're going to open this up so we can start processing it and pull out the wrong device, pull out the right device. Nope. Try again. Yep. Yeah, so it's not too useful. So we'll go ahead and process that and suck it down. And when this empties out, we'll shut this off. Okay, everything looks good. We're getting there. Got a whole bunch of silver and a lot of cobalt. Go ahead and cancel that out. Oh, another integrated circuit. We'll be using those. So I need like one chip to control the robot that will move reagents from the export bin to the input bins. And then we'll need another chip to control the arc furnaces and the active vent that will pull the gas out of there. I had another arc, my starter arc furnace. I'm looking for that, and there it is. So now I have to print up one more arc furnace. And we have just enough to print it, so we'll do that. And we'll put the labeler back where it belongs. The smart, the right. No, I guess that's not smart return. I guess when I do the right click. Yeah, I don't do the G. I don't do G. Wow, we got a mess here. Yeah, the G key is almost useless because the right click, I use that for everything. Now, what I need to do here, and I overdo it, I need to put a containment around the arc furnaces so I can contain that gas. And I also want to put a vacuum in there before I start up. So basically, I need to get everything set up and then put walls around it, put a vacuum in there, and then, because you don't want the volatiles coming out in an atmosphere full of oxygen. Although, I guess the percentage would be so low that it wouldn't combust. And you could filter it out aggressively, but that'd be a silly way to do it. So anyway, so I'll end up containing it, put a vacuum, and then when it's running, I'll move what gases are produced, do the run filtering. I have those tanks kind of over to the right of them and kind of move it into there. And then they'll start collecting volatiles. And once we have volatiles collected, we got plenty of O2 we're collecting. Then we can look at start making water. Even though there's enough, I can mine enough water to last me 10,000 game days without a problem. I mean, part of the reason to do the moon is to practice or work out these systems, these workflows, we'll call them, that you'll need for other planets. Because you can always, it gives you lots of time. For example, I can always, I got one robot moving. Just double check it and see it's happy now. And that one's still waiting. Oh, happy robots, 3 happy robots. And I don't see any mistakes. Now, because they kind of restarted, like, they may get off. If it does, I'll just back plant manually. But I think they'll run okay. So I'll check them every now and then, make sure they're being nice. And we'll just do this manually right now. Man, I really wish those bins were automatic when you put something in there. Or at least a mode. You know, you can set a mode on it and that would do it automatically. Alright, so we're going to get some of this stuff out of the way. I could pack these a little closer, but I don't think it'll really give you that much more free space in there. So I'll put one per frame. And then this is where I'll put the volatiles into. If I can get it in the right position. So that the volatiles will go there. I'm not going to paint it in this episode, but I need to paint it. Nothing in it yet, so I'll paint it. So I got 2 arc furnaces. Now, I have all these walls. I only need 4 walls. I'm gonna put the 2 on the ends just to have those in there. It makes me think I'm making progress. I'll leave the 2 facing walls off for now, so I have access to do. I guess I could have put them in there, just not connected them yet, but I don't. All right, so we have these 2 walls, and then we'll have to put 2 more once we get everything done. And we'll run the cabling. I was thinking about where to put this. I stick it in there, but that's going to block some of the wiring, and so I could put it up there. I could put it in between the 2. It doesn't really matter because those 2 rooms will be connected because, you know, nothing generates O2 or anything in there. So once I have a vacuum, so it won't hurt. And I'll go, that's not a good place to put that. So let's just defer that decision. I want the wiring in there first, see how things lay out before I go. I mean, I can put it in the ceiling if I had to, so it's not like there's no place to put it. But I think I'll run the cabling first and then see how things go. And the IC chip will be outside the room, so that didn't be in there. I should put all this in a transformer too, just to keep it isolated from everything else. And then, of course, it's one side's data, one side is power, so we need to connect them both up. We'll just snake this around like this. Kind of making this up as I go. Okay. Yeah, we got room in the middle to put the active in. It makes running the piping a little longer, but I don't really have a shortage of pipes. Now, technically, the pipes inside the room can be normal pipes, and only when it exits the room does it need to be insulated. All right, so we'll turn the lights off manually. We haven't got that fixed up yet. We're gonna go upstairs for a while, so look at our robots now are happy. Yeah, my little workaround seems to be fine, so. Curious if they hot fix the issue, or they just wait for the next update to address it. The workaround's pretty simple, so it's not a big deal. And if they make the fix, put it back the way it was, with my workaround in there, it doesn't hurt. So I don't have to revert that when they return to the previous behavior. All right, we're about to end of this episode. I'm just going to do a little cleanup, and I'm just going to stand next to my airlock and end it there. Until next time, see ya.